You won't believe what really happened to Sal Mineo, and why it took nearly half a century to uncover the truth. He was a teen idol, a fearless actor, and an openly gay man in an era that punished people for being themselves. But behind the glitz and glamour, his life ended in a brutal murder that was brushed aside. Until now. Because the truth? It's darker than anyone imagined. Born Salvatore Mineo Jr. on January 10, 1939, in the Bronx, New York, Sal came from a big Sicilian family. His parents worked day and night just to make ends meet. From a young age, Sal wasn't just another kid. He had that spark. By the time he was 10, he was already acting on Broadway, even landing a role in The King and I alongside the legendary Yul Brynner. Not bad for a Bronx kid with big dreams. But Sal didn't just want the spotlight, he earned it. At 16, he got his breakout role in Rebel Without a Cause, playing the emotionally fragile John Plato Crawford. His performance hit hard. He wasn't just acting. He was that lonely, misunderstood teen. And the chemistry with James Dean? Off the charts. Some say it was the first time a gay-coded character was shown with real depth on screen, even if no one dared say it out loud back then. That role earned him an Oscar nod and turned him into Hollywood's next big thing. Throughout the late 50s, Sal kept racking up powerful roles: Giant, Crime in the Streets, The Gene Krupa Story, and Exodus. That last one? Another Oscar nomination, this time for playing a Holocaust survivor. He wasn't afraid of heavy material. He leaned into it. Raw, intense, honest. But fame in that era was a double-edged sword. As he grew older, Hollywood didn't know what to do with him. The teen roles dried up, and the industry just couldn't handle someone who refused to hide who he was. Sal was one of the few men in Hollywood living openly as gay in his personal life, and he paid the price professionally. The roles stopped coming. The phone stopped ringing. So what did he do? He didn't give up. He pivoted. Sal went back to the stage. He directed bold, challenging plays, like Fortune and Men's Eyes, which tackled sexuality and prison violence head-on. And in 1972, he stepped way outside the box, directing an opera called The Medium in Detroit. He even played Toby, the mute servant. It wasn't a blockbuster, but it was his. A passion project that showed he wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing meaning. Then, in 1975, Sal popped back onto TV with a bang. He played a calculating political assistant on Columbo, and later, a cult leader on SWAT. Yep, that kind of cult leader. The comparisons to Charles Manson weren't accidental. Sal had a knack for playing dark, damaged souls and making them unforgettable. By 1976, it looked like his comeback was real. He starred in P.S. Your Cat is Dead, a stage play that pushed boundaries with its exploration of sexuality and power. Sal played a bisexual burglar. The critics loved it. Audiences were buzzing. He was back. And not just as the former teen star, but as a real, grown-up artist unafraid to speak uncomfortable truths. But there was more to Sal than what happened on stage or screen. In 1960, while filming Exodus, he met British actress Jill Howarth. They clicked instantly, despite a tricky age gap. Over the years, their on-again, off-again romance was intense, passionate, and complicated. At one point, they even got engaged, but then, it all fell apart. According to later reports, Jill walked in on Sal with another man. She ended the engagement. Still, she didn't abandon him. They remained close, like soulmates who just didn't fit the traditional mold. Sal, in turn, was fiercely protective of Jill. When she started seeing producer Aaron Spelling, who was way older, Sal lost it. One night at a Beverly Hills club, he reportedly punched Spelling in the face, yelling, "Do you know how old she is?" It was messy, but it showed just how deeply Sal cared. Eventually, Sal found real love. In the last 6 years of his life, he was in a steady relationship with Courtney Burr III, an actor and coach. Quiet, private, supportive. For the first time, Sal had something like peace, but that peace didn't last. On February 12, 1976, Sal was walking back to his West Hollywood apartment after rehearsal. Just a few feet from his door, someone stabbed him in the heart. He died right there in the alley. He was only 37. The shock was immediate. People couldn't believe it. Why would anyone want him dead? Was it a robbery, a hate crime, a cover-up? At first, police didn't have answers, just a lot of noise and confusion. And because it was the 1970s, and Sal was gay, and the LAPD had a, let's say, spotty record with celebrity cases, the investigation quickly went cold. Then, 2 years later, a random twist. A 21-year-old pizza delivery guy from Michigan, Lionel Ray Williams, got busted for a totally unrelated robbery. During questioning, he bragged about stabbing a famous actor. The cops looked into it, and the story stuck. A witness even claimed to have seen someone like him at the scene. He was convicted and sentenced to 57 years. But here's the thing, none of it made sense. Sal's wallet and watch were untouched. Williams didn't know Sal. The murder felt personal, calculated. So why would a petty thief stab a stranger and not rob him? People started to whisper. Was Williams just a fall guy? Decades passed. Then, around the 50-year anniversary of Sal's death, buried police files were finally unsealed. What they showed? Chilling. Evidence was ignored. Leads went cold on purpose. Some internal notes hinted that Sal might have been silenced. Because he knew things. Dangerous things. Ties to closeted Hollywood elites. Maybe even organized crime. Things certain people didn't want coming to light. Maybe Sal was too bold, too open, too threatening. Even worse? There were early tips, real ones, that could have cracked the case wide open. But investigators either didn't follow them or were told not to. Whether it was homophobia, politics, or just old-school corruption, the truth got buried. So here we are, 50 years later. Williams is still in prison. Maybe he did it. Maybe he didn't. But there's a bigger story here. A story about fear, power, and how justice can be twisted when the victim doesn't fit the system's idea of who matters. Sal Mineo wasn't just a forgotten actor. He was a trailblazer, a risk-taker, a man who refused to hide. And he paid for it, with his life. His story reminds us that sometimes the scariest part of a mystery isn't what we don't know. It's what we chose not to see. If you made it this far, take a second to think about Sal. His talent, his courage, his truth. And if you found this story as compelling as I did, go ahead, drop a like, share it, and subscribe for more stories that deserve to be heard.